Winning isn't always loud. It doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes the real victories happen in silence, when no one is watching, when applause is absent, and when recognition feels far away. Silent rules for winning is about discipline over noise, character over clout, and purpose over popularity. In the spirit of Denzel Washington's wisdom, this message reminds us that success isn't built on shortcuts or excuses. It's built on consistency, faith in your craft, and the courage to do the hard work even when nobody is clapping. The world sees the spotlight, but they never see the sacrifice. And that's where winners are truly made. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. One day you wake up ready to conquer the world, and the next day you can barely find the strength to get out of bed. That's life. That's human nature. If your success depends on how you feel, then your success will always be temporary. That's why discipline matters more than motivation. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. Discipline doesn't ask if you're tired, hurt, or discouraged. Discipline says, do the work anyway. You see, everyone wants to win, but not everyone is willing to live like a winner. People love the idea of success, the applause, the awards, the respect, but they don't love the process. They don't love waking up early when the bed feels warm. They don't love practicing when nobody is watching. They don't love failing, falling, and getting back up with bruises on their pride. Discipline is what carries you through those moments when motivation has packed its bags and left the building. I've learned this: motivation talks, discipline listens. Motivation says, I'll try tomorrow. Discipline says, get up now. Motivation looks for comfort, discipline looks for growth. And growth, real growth, is uncomfortable. It stretches you, it demands sacrifice. It asks you to give up who you are today for who you could be tomorrow. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. If you only work when you feel inspired, you will always be average. Winners don't rise because they're always inspired. They rise because they're committed. Committed to showing up even when it hurts. Committed to doing the boring work. Committed to repetition, consistency, and patience. There's nothing glamorous about discipline. That's why so few people choose it. Discipline is making a promise to yourself and keeping it, even when nobody else would know if you broke it. That's character. That's integrity. That's strength. When you build discipline, you build trust with yourself. And once you trust yourself, confidence follows. Not loud confidence, quiet confidence. The kind that doesn't need validation because it's rooted in preparation. You don't become disciplined overnight. It's built in small decisions. Tiny choices. Choosing to show up 5 minutes early. Choosing to practice one more time. Choosing to say no to distractions that steal your future. Those choices don't feel heroic in the moment, but over time, they separate the winners from the talkers. See, everybody wants the reward, but discipline is the price. And the price must be paid up front, not later. Not when it's convenient now. Life doesn't give discounts for potential. It only pays for performance. And performance is the product of discipline applied daily. There will be days when you don't feel like you're making progress. Days when it feels like you're running in place. Discipline teaches you to trust the process. To understand that seeds grow underground before they ever break the surface. Just because you don't see results doesn't mean nothing is happening. Something is always happening if you keep showing up. And let me tell you something important: discipline is freedom. People think discipline is restrictive, but it's the opposite. Discipline frees you from excuses. It frees you from regret. It frees you from the pain of knowing you could have done more but didn't. When you're disciplined, you don't have to wonder what might have been. You know you gave it everything you had. Motivation will make you start. Discipline will make you finish. Anybody can start strong. Anybody can be excited at the beginning. But finishing, that's a different story. Finishing requires grit. It requires consistency. It requires the ability to keep going when the excitement fades and the work gets heavy. Don't wait for motivation to knock on your door. Build a routine so strong that motivation becomes optional. Train yourself to act even when your emotions are quiet or negative. Because when pressure comes, and it will, you won't rise to the level of your motivation. You will fall to the level of your discipline. That's the silent rule. That's the difference maker. Not talent. Not luck. Discipline. Day after day. Choice after choice. When nobody's watching. When nobody's cheering. When it's just you and the work. And one day when the world finally notices, it will look like overnight success. But you'll know better. You'll know it was discipline, steady, quiet, relentless, that carried you there. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you've already started falling behind. That's one of life's quiet truths. Success has a funny way of testing you. Not when you're struggling, but when things start going right. When doors open. When people start calling your name. When praise gets louder than your inner voice. That's when humility matters most, because pride doesn't announce itself as a problem. It disguises itself as comfort. Staying humble doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. It means remembering that whatever stage you're standing on, somebody helped build it. Somebody opened a door. Somebody believed before the results showed up. Humility keeps you grounded in gratitude, and gratitude keeps you connected to reality. You see, hunger is what got you started. Hunger made you work when nobody cared. Hunger kept you focused when the outcome was uncertain. Hunger made rejection fuel instead of failure. But success can quietly dull that hunger if you let it. Comfort is dangerous. Comfort tells you it's okay to slow down. Comfort whispers, you've done enough. And that voice has ended more dreams than failure ever did. The great ones never stop being students. They never stop listening. They never stop learning. The moment you believe you have nothing left to learn, life will teach you a lesson you won't forget. Humility keeps your ears open. It keeps your mind sharp. It reminds you that mastery is a journey, not a destination. I've seen talented people lose everything because they started believing their own hype. They confused applause for growth. They mistook attention for achievement. But applause fades. Trends change. But the world moves on. What lasts is work ethic, character, and the willingness to keep improving even when nobody is asking you to. Staying hungry means refusing to coast. It means waking up every day with something to prove, not to others, but to yourself. It's understanding that yesterday's wins don't pay today's bills. Hunger doesn't let you rest on old trophies. It pushes you to earn new ones. Here's the balance. Humility keeps you grounded. Hunger keeps you moving. Without humility, hunger turns into arrogance. Without hunger, humility turns into complacency. You need both. One keeps your feet on the ground. The other keeps your eyes on the horizon. When you stay humble, criticism doesn't destroy you. It teaches you. When you stay hungry, setbacks don't stop you. They sharpen you. That mindset turns obstacles into training grounds. It reminds you that growth lives just outside your comfort zone. Real confidence doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove itself in every room. Quiet confidence walks in, listens, observes, and gets to work. That kind of confidence comes from preparation, not ego. From knowing you've put in the hours, not from telling people you have. And let me be clear, humility doesn't mean shrinking yourself. It means letting your work speak louder than your words. It means knowing your value without needing to announce it. The loudest person in the room is usually the one trying to convince themselves. Hunger also means respecting the process, respecting the grind, respecting the fact that greatness is rented, and the rent is due every single day. You don't get to pay once and live there forever. You have to earn it again and again. There will always be someone younger, faster, hungrier coming up behind you. That's life. The question is, will you still be hungry enough to stay ahead, or will you let comfort slow your steps? Stay humble enough to remember where you came from. Stay hungry enough to never forget where you're going. Don't let success make you lazy. Don't let praise make you soft. Don't let titles make you forget the work. Because the world doesn't reward potential forever. It rewards performance. And performance comes from people who never stop learning, never stop grinding, and never stop respecting the journey. That's the silent rule. Stay humble so life doesn't have to humble you. Stay hungry so success doesn't starve you of purpose. Keep your head down. Keep your heart open. Keep your fire alive. And when people ask how you stayed on top for so long, the answer will be simple: you never believed you were finished. Most people want the spotlight before they've earned the stage. They want recognition before preparation. They want applause before sacrifice. But the truth is, the light only reveals what was built in the dark. If you haven't put in the work when nobody was watching, the spotlight won't save you. It will expose you. Real growth happens away from cameras, away from compliments, away from comfort. It happens early in the morning when the world is quiet. Late at night when everyone else has gone to sleep. It happens in moments that feel small, repetitive, and invisible. That's where character is built. That's where skill is sharpened. That's where winners are formed. Working in the dark means doing the right thing without an audience. It means showing up when there's no guarantee of reward. It means staying committed even when nobody is clapping, liking, sharing, or cheering. That's hard, because silence can make you question yourself. Silence can make you wonder if it's worth it. But silence is not failure, it's preparation. See, everybody loves the shine, but very few respect the shadows. They don't respect the hours of practice, the sacrifices, the self-doubt, the mistakes, the corrections. They don't see the setbacks that almost broke you or the discipline that kept you going. They only see the finished product and call it luck. But luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. And preparation happens in the dark. When you work without witnesses, you build something powerful: self-respect. You learn how to push yourself without external validation. You stop relying on praise to keep you moving. You develop internal drive. And once that drive is built, nobody can take it from you. The dark teaches patience. It teaches humility. It teaches resilience. Because in the dark, there's no shortcut. You either do the work or you don't. You can't fake consistency when nobody's watching. You can't hide excuses from yourself. The dark holds you accountable. And let me tell you something important. The dark will test your faith. Faith in yourself. Faith in your vision. Faith that what you're doing matters, even if no one else sees it yet. That's where many people quit. Not because they can't do it, but because they don't get immediate recognition for it. But winners understand this. Recognition is a byproduct, not the goal. Shining in the light is easy when you've earned it. When the moment comes, you're ready. Not nervous, not scrambling, not hoping. Ready. Because you've rehearsed in silence, you've failed in private, you've learned when nobody cared. That's why true confidence looks calm. It's not loud, it's not desperate. It doesn't need to prove anything. It knows the work has been done. When pressure hits, discipline responds automatically. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens because of years in the dark. The light doesn't make you, it reveals you. If you're undisciplined in private, the spotlight will magnify it. If you're lazy behind closed doors, the world will see it eventually. But if you're consistent, focused, and committed when no one is watching, the light will amplify your excellence. Stop chasing visibility. Chase mastery. Visibility fades, trends change, attention moves on, but mastery stays with you. Skills stay with you. Character stays with you. And those things can't be taken away. There's also peace in working quietly. When you're not announcing every move, nobody can interfere with your process. Nobody can sabotage what they don't know. Silence protects your growth. It gives you space to make mistakes without judgment, to experiment without pressure, to improve without comparison. Comparison is dangerous. It steals joy and distorts progress. When you work in the dark, you stop measuring yourself against others and start measuring yourself against who you were yesterday. That's real progress. When the time comes, when opportunity finally meets preparation, don't be surprised if people say, "You came out of nowhere." Smile. Let them think that. You know the truth. You know about the nights you wanted to quit, the mornings you pushed through doubt, the days you showed up tired but committed. That shine isn't borrowed. It's earned. Don't rush the process. Don't force the spotlight. Let it find you ready. Because when you shine too early, the heat can burn you. But when you shine at the right time, the light lifts you. Stay focused. Stay consistent. Stay silent when necessary. The world doesn't need to know what you're building until it's built. Work in the dark. Build your foundation strong. Strengthen your mind. Sharpen your craft. Protect your vision. And when the light finally hits you, stand tall. Not because you were lucky, not because you were chosen, but because you prepared when nobody was watching. That's the quiet power. That's the rule most people ignore. And that's why, when you shine, it will last. Talent will get you noticed, but character will determine how long you're remembered. That's a truth life teaches sooner or later. You can be gifted, skilled, even brilliant, but without character, everything you build is standing on sand, and sand always shifts. Character is the foundation that doesn't crack under pressure. Character is who you are when nobody's watching. Not when the cameras are on. Not when the praise is loud. Not when the reward is guaranteed. It's how you treat people who can't do anything for you. It's how you respond when you're wrong. It's how you act when you're tired, frustrated, or disappointed. That's where real success is decided. You see, the world is full of talented people. Talent is common. Character is rare. That's why character is the real currency. Money can be lost. Fame can fade. Titles can be taken away. But character, if you build it right, travels with you everywhere. It opens doors talent alone never could. And more importantly, it keeps those doors open. Integrity is doing the right thing even when it costs you something. Especially when it costs you something. It's easy to be honest when honesty is rewarded. The real test comes when dishonesty would be easier, faster, more profitable. Character chooses the harder right over the easier wrong. And let me tell you something, shortcuts always send the bill later. You might save time today by cutting corners, but tomorrow you'll pay in trust, reputation, and self-respect. And once trust is broken, it's hard to earn back. People may forgive mistakes, but they rarely forget patterns. Character also shows up in how you handle success. Success reveals more than failure ever could. Failure humbles you quickly. Success tempts you quietly. It whispers that rules don't apply to you anymore, that you're different, that you've earned the right to compromise. That's when character steps in and says, stay grounded, stay true. Respect is another form of currency, and respect is earned, not demanded. It's earned by consistency, by fairness, by keeping your word. When you say you're going to do something, do it. When you commit, follow through. Your word should mean something. In a world full of promises, be someone whose word carries weight. Character doesn't mean perfection. You will make mistakes. Everyone does. The difference is accountability. Strong character doesn't hide errors. It owns them. It doesn't make excuses. It makes corrections. It doesn't blame. It learns. That willingness to take responsibility builds credibility, and credibility is priceless. How you treat people on the way up matters, because life has a way of bringing you back around. Titles change, positions shift, circumstances evolve. The people you overlook today might be the ones making decisions tomorrow. But beyond that, kindness and respect are reflections of who you are, not who others are. Character is also about self-control, knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, knowing when to act and when to wait, knowing that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every opportunity is worth taking. Wisdom grows where character lives. And here's something people don't like to hear: character requires sacrifice. Sometimes you'll lose opportunities because you refuse to compromise your values. Sometimes you'll be misunderstood. Sometimes you'll walk away from things everyone else would grab. But peace of mind is worth more than applause. And integrity lets you sleep at night. The world might reward talent quickly, but it rewards character consistently. People trust those who are steady, those who are fair, those who don't change their values depending on who's in the room. That consistency builds legacy. Legacy isn't what people say about you when you're winning. It's what they say when you're gone. It's the impact you leave behind, the example you set, the lives you influence. Talent might entertain people for a moment. Character influences them for a lifetime. You don't build character in one big moment. You build it in daily decisions, small choices. Choosing honesty over convenience, choosing humility over ego, choosing discipline over comfort. Over time, those choices shape who you become. And when life tests you, and it will, character is what keeps you standing. When pressure comes, when temptation appears, when things don't go your way, character is the compass that keeps you aligned with who you said you wanted to be. So invest in your character, guard it, strengthen it, let it guide your decisions. Because talent might get you in the room, but character determines whether you belong there. In the end, people won't remember how talented you were. They'll remember how you treated them, how you handled adversity, how you carried yourself when things were hard and when things were good. That's real wealth. That's real success. That's the currency that never loses value. If you chase popularity, you will always be owned by other people's opinions. You'll wake up every day checking the temperature of the room, wondering who approves, who disapproves, and whether you still belong. That's a heavy way to live. Purpose, on the other hand, sets you free. When you know why you're here, you don't need permission to keep going. Purpose is quiet. It doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't explain itself to everyone. It doesn't need applause to survive. Popularity is loud, fragile, and temporary. It rises fast and falls even faster. Purpose moves slower, but it lasts. It carries you through seasons when the crowd disappears and the cheers fade. Most people abandon their purpose because it doesn't get immediate approval. They start out focused, then they look around and notice who's getting attention. They begin to adjust, to perform, to chase what's trending. Little by little, they drift away from what they were called to do. And one day, they wake up successful in the eyes of others, but empty on the inside. Purpose keeps you aligned when distractions try to pull you off course. It helps you say no to things that look good but don't feel right. Not every opportunity is meant for you. Not every door should be opened. Purpose gives you the wisdom to choose direction over applause. When you live for popularity, criticism controls you. When you live for purpose, criticism teaches you, or it passes right by. You don't need to defend yourself to everyone. You don't need to respond to every opinion. Some people won't understand your journey, and that's okay. They're not supposed to. Your assignment wasn't given to them. Purpose also demands patience. It doesn't rush. It doesn't panic when progress is slow. It understands that meaningful work takes time. Popularity wants results now. Purpose is willing to wait because it's building something deeper than attention. It's building impact. There will be moments when choosing purpose feels lonely. When the crowd goes one way and you're standing still, or walking in the opposite direction. That's not a sign you're wrong. That's often a sign you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Leaders are rarely surrounded at the beginning. Visionaries often walk alone before others catch up. Living with purpose means accepting that not everyone will like you. And that's a hard lesson, especially in a world obsessed with approval. But you weren't born to be liked by everyone. You were born to be effective, to contribute, to leave something better than you found it. Popularity asks, do they like me? Purpose asks, am I doing what matters? One question feeds the ego, the other feeds the soul. Purpose also anchors you when success comes. When attention grows, when praise increases, purpose reminds you why you started. It keeps you from losing yourself in the noise. It keeps you grounded when temptation shows up, wearing compliments and opportunities that don't align with your values. And here's the truth. Purpose will challenge you. It will demand growth. It will require sacrifice. It will ask you to choose long-term meaning over short-term comfort. But everything worth doing asks something from you. Purpose doesn't promise ease, it promises fulfillment. When you stop chasing popularity, you stop performing. You become authentic. You speak with honesty. You move with intention. You stop trying to be everything to everyone and focus on being true to yourself. That authenticity is powerful because it's rare. Purpose also gives you resilience. When setbacks come, and they will, you don't quit easily because you know why you're doing what you're doing. Quitting is easy when you're only chasing attention. But when you're driven by purpose, failure becomes feedback, not a finish line. The world doesn't need more popular people, it needs more purposeful ones. people willing to stand for something, even when it's unpopular. People willing to do the right thing, even when it costs them recognition. At the end of the day, popularity fades, trends change, algorithms move on, but purpose stays. It grows deeper with time. It leaves fingerprints on lives, communities, and generations. When your time comes to look back, you won't ask how many people liked you. You'll ask whether you lived truthfully, whether you stayed aligned with what mattered, whether you used your gift to serve something bigger than your ego. Choose purpose. Let popularity be a byproduct, not the goal. Walk your path with conviction even when it's quiet, even when it's misunderstood, even when it's lonely. Because when you live on purpose, you don't need approval. You already know who you are.